Right, hello, good morning, welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's Thursday, the 25th day of April 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to Most High God for the right privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making around here in our dear republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. KPMG audit finds tax revenue increase. SML clear to continue work. My choice is belief in Ghanaian women. Professor Pukwajiman. Traders laud free SHS policy for bridging education inequality gap. Salaries of first and second ladies unconstitutional. Supreme Court rules. The Ghanaian Times. Outcome of Ghanaian Times expose. Dismiss pregnant student back to school following GS directive. Resident persons risk prosecution for failure to disclose incomes, GRA. President inaugurates second phase 15 megawatt Kalio solar power plant project. Mahama touts credentials of Professor Opoku Ajiman. Daily Guide. Baumia meets Pope Francis in historic Vatican visit. Nana pledges loyalty to Mahama. President orders SML contract renegotiation. Latif Abubakar, Italian embassy partner for the license. No salaries for first and second ladies, Supreme Court. The New Crusading Guide. Free SHS bridging inequality gap in education. Akufo-Addo acts on KPMG reports. Orders review of upstream petroleum audit. Government close to achieving effective management of public enterprises, Joseph Kujo. Newmont pays 1.295 billion in taxes to government of Ghana for Q1 2024. Africa Legal Associates and Africa Law Practice, NG, form Strategic Corporate Alliance. Ghana signs agreement with CNNC to develop HPR 1000 technology nuclear power plant. The Insight. Jane outdoored at last as NDC Vice President. Okay. Will she be the first female VP in Ghana? That's a question by The Insight. Ghanaian war hero launches global peace initiative as he readies to outdoor new history book. As a warrant officer class 1, Ashite Hammond. Professor Jane Nanajiman, why her nomination is a symbol of empowerment and inclusivity. Socialism or ruin, Vijay Prashad speaks. The Inquisitor, GRSML deal, state claims 2.45 billion cedis. KPMG audit reveals SML blocked leakages, contract review triggered. National Security Operative allegedly swindles businessman over sale of excavator. Jane fires NDC up for victory 2024. ICEG, schools Osafoma for load shedding timetable. The Daily Statesman. President directs action on GRSML deal as KPMG audit affirms increase in tax revenue. Baumia deepens diplomatic ties with Vatican. Armstrong SA. NSS policy puts personnel first. NPP women want woman running mate. LPG dealers in Upper East welcome CRM for job increase. The Daily Searchlight. Free SHS has removed inequality in education. Market women. Questions over Baumia's multi-million Ghana dual desk donation. GMA SWP builds capacity for WASH delegates from STMA. Vice President Baumia makes historic visit to Vatican, strengthening diplomatic ties. President Akufo-Addo commissions 15 megawatt Kalio solar power plant. Declaration of Wednesday, 1st May 2024 as a statutory public holiday. The New Finder. EcoBank posts 985 million cedis profit before tax in 2023. SML minimized under declarations but needs review. President will prosecute corrupt officials. Professor Pukwajiman. Dr. Baumia, Pope Francis hold talks in the Vatican to strengthen diplomatic ties. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have the Member of Parliament for the Crown constituency, the Honorable Sam Nate George. Good morning, Sam. Good morning. Long time no see.
Yes, it's been a while. Took a bit of a break, and it's good to be back. And the timing is just fantastic and perfect. But yeah, we give God all the glory and all the praise.
Okay. Did you go reciting nursery rhymes and alphabets?
Your intelligence is correct. Yes. I did all the nursery rhymes and hot scotch jump and all of those with the kids.
What about the alphabets?
The alphabets. Randy, you are taking me somewhere I don't want to go because you want the alphabet people take it to rise. I started the alphabet L, G, A, B, C, D. Yes.
A friend of mine puts it this way. He says a kaleidoscope of alphabets.
Absolutely. It is endless. Oh my God.
Anyway, so we're also expecting the Member of Parliament for the Sisala East constituency, who's also the Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, the Honorable Amedu Chinia Isaaku, to join us here on the show. But if you're thinking of getting a toothpaste, or you're actually looking for a toothpaste that can take care of all the family and save money, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint, gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. Is available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KEL 360 toothpaste. Happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lift and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumon, or just call them on 0200-535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. Okay. So that's about it. Okay. Sam, while we wait for the Honorable Chinia to join us here on the show, I've seen something, an assurance from the board chairman of the Electricity Company of Ghana, okay, who's also Deputy Minister of Energy, Herbert Crapper. And he's assured that the ongoing power crisis currently experienced by Ghanaians will soon come to an end. He stated that the government has implemented adequate measures to ensure that consumers enjoy an uninterrupted power supply. He emphasized that the government is aware of the challenges faced by Ghanaians and is committed to resolving them for the benefit of the people. In a Facebook post yesterday, he expressed gratitude to the Ghanaian people for their patience and resilience during this crisis. Quote, "As I said earlier today at Kalio at the commission of VRA's 15-megawatt solar power plant, the government has put in place immediate measures to ensure the return of uninterrupted supply of power to consumers. I can therefore state that the unfortunate power challenges Ghanaians are facing should be over in the next few days. We are fully confident that the measures being put in place should resolve the service interruptions. We empathize with all consumers and apologize unreservedly for the effects of the outages on our daily lives. Please bear with us. We are fixing it, and we're nearly there." His post further read. Okay.
Randy, let me say good morning to our viewers and to the good people of Ningo Park.
Hey, how's mommy?
Mommy's doing well. She asked of you. When I called her this morning and said I was coming on Metro, she said, "Hey, if I don't know Randy, I'm here. If I don't
Mommy, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, she's doing the watching. She told me that her lights went off at 6 a.m. just like mine.
Oh,
so
no.
she had to turn on the generator to watch us. Randy, the issue of power outages is one that is discomforting, worrying, troubling, but most of all, nauseating. Because you have the persons who are responsible for managing our power trying to tell us that there is no problem. I mean, with the exception of this statement you've just read from Herbert Crapper, the body language and communication from as far as high up as the minister and government communicators is, oh, this is not doomsaw. This is better than John Mahama's doomsaw. I mean, my lights go off without any notice. I can't plan my life. I don't know when the lights will go off. I don't know when the lights will come on. And you don't have the humility to say to me that this is the problem, this is the plan to fix it, and this is the timetable. You tell me that if I say there is doomsaw, I should fix my own timetable. I mean, it is this arrogant incompetence that is getting on the last nerves of Ghanaians. Business people cannot plan. Small and micro enterprises are struggling because a barbering shop opens, the person goes there, and most of these guys depend on their daily income. He gets there at 8 o'clock, his lights are off till 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. He could not plan because he didn't know the power would go off or come on. Randy, how hard is it for us to get a timetable that allows us to plan our lives? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We have problems of debt, mounting debt in that sector, despite the fact that John Mahama had put in place the plans and the roadmap to clearing those legacy debts with ESLA. These people have come in, collateralized ESLA, extended its lifeline, and we cannot see what they've done with the money. The debt still is there. ECG owes Gridco, VRA. Everybody's owing everybody in that mix. And the Ghanaian people are struggling. Yesterday I saw a journalist, I'm sure he's one of your proteges, Umar Sanda, late in the night, do a tweet and tag President Akufo-Addo and say that his little children, his daughters, he's asked them to sleep on the bare floor because the heat was unbearable. And Randy, everybody knows that the heat in Accra this past few weeks has been something else. And we're having to go through this without any milk of compassion from the people who run the sector. Randy, the ordinary Ghanaian is fed up. The ordinary Ghanaian is tired. You have, and this, I mean, I know we'll come to Prof. Nana Jane, but yesterday this is what she spoke about when she spoke about the scorecards. Yes, there was doomsaw under President Mahama. And doomsaw did not start with President Mahama. You've had the NPP try to paint the picture that doomsaw was President Mahama's creation. No. President Mahama was a man of integrity who said, as leader, I will own the problem. It does not mean he created the problem. Because if the NPP claims that President Mahama created doomsaw and doomsaw started under President Mahama, they should remind us again why President Kufuor in 2006, 2007 marched pastors to go and pray for rain at Akosombo Dam. Why? Was it because we had excess power? Now, this is the same MPP government that in their 100-day in office scorecard, as put out by their flag bearer now and Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he said that yes, John Mahama had fixed doomsaw, but we must not give him credit for it because that is what he was asked to do. Today they say that we shouldn't give Mahama any credit and that there is no doomsaw and that theirs is better than. I mean, how can you tell me that your doomsaw is better than any other person's zone when my lights are going off? At least under Mahama, I knew when my lights would go off and I knew when they would come on. Today, you can't tell. Randy, I grew up in Nigeria, and anybody who knows Nigeria knows that one of the few things Ghanaians always used to tease Nigerians is power. NEPA was called Never Expect Power Always. When they changed it to PHC and they said, please hold candle now. And we always tease them and said, in Ghana, even if the lights will go off, they will announce it for you to know when the lights are going off and when they will come on. In Nigeria, it was even that small bragging right we had. Nanado and Bawumia have conspired with Napo, Matthew Poku Prempe, to deprive us of it. What crime have we committed? You no water. And Randy, it is painful Because there are people who don't have Ghana water in their houses. They run their own boreholes. You need power to pump water. So when power is cut erratically, and you have not been able to pump enough water to store the water, you lose it. Even me, in my house, I have Ghana water. But even with Ghana water, I still need the electricity to pump it into the house. You take my power, I don't have water.
So on Tuesday, talking about this water thing, on Tuesday, my boss, Mr. Tomian Fossen.
Yes.
Okay. They sent me this text, Tuesday, 8:42 a.m. Says, good morning. Please, can you also take a look at the water sector? We're discussing power. It seems there are a lot of challenges. From what I understand, they have problems with their pumping machines. And it's having untold hardship on consumers as well. Some people say they've not had water running for 2 years. For example, I have to buy 300 cedis of water every 3 days. I live at these Legon Hills, no running water for weeks now. And he actually sent me a photograph. He says, as this message comes to you, I'm currently buying water.
Can you imagine?
Please help us. And he sent me a picture of the tanker.
The tanker doing the discharge. Yeah?
Yes.
No, Randy, water is a major issue for many people. Yes, we're shouting about doing so, but the water situation is worse.
There's a correlation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because, you see, even when the outages happen...
For water, there's the power issue and there's Galamsey.
Galamsey, yes. And you see, even with the water issue, it's two-pronged. Because the water substations themselves get turned off. So their pumps are off. And then even when they pump the water, your own house too, you are not getting the access to the water because you can't pump it. It is a toxic mix because normally when your lights are off and you're about to sleep, you go and do some small shower so that you can cool down the body and sleep. Now you don't even have water. I mean, what crime have we committed to vote for President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia? What is the offense Ghanaians have committed to be saddled? I mean, what sin? Randy, you know, if this was Bible days, the nation will wear sackcloths and go back to God in prayer and ask God to forgive us our sins. Because this looks as though God is punishing us. But this is not God. This is the sheer wickedness of the people we have voted for. People who have become teen gods unto themselves. Behaving like King Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. That's why today you have the president not concerned about the erratic power situation in our country and the lack of water and the fact that babies are dying in Tema General Hospital. He's more interested in asking chiefs to stand up to greet him. And you know, this is not the first. Yes, the president.
Is that what?
He's more interested in shouting at chiefs that how dare they sit down and his bodyguards are waving their hands and telling them.
When did they do that?
Oh, at the funeral of the former, what's his name? I forgot. In KJB, in OT.
He did
2 days ago. He shouted, oh, I will share the video with your production.
He shouted at who?
The chiefs in
For
OT
what?
region.
For what?
He went greeting.
Uh-huh.
And you know, as tradition demands, our chief sits. And when you go, you shake their hands. Uh-huh. He asked them to stand up to shake his hands to greet him. And when the chiefs were sitting there, he was shouting at them, stand up. And this is not the first time the president is doing it. He did this in my constituency as well. In that instance, I apologize to him because he took offense and actually sent the regional minister at the time, Henry Cotti, to go and warn the chief of Pram Pram, Nenewaka III, that when the anthem was being sung, Nenewaka was sitting down and didn't stand up.
That anthem thing, I thought he was here now. I thought he was in the Ayawaso West.
Apart from Ayawaso, he did the same thing when he came to Atlantic Life Sciences, the commissioning of Atlantic Life Sciences in my constituency.
But why didn't the chief stand for the anthem?
So that one I apologized and said that my chief didn't know.
But the president was right.
Oh, Randy.
Yes.
You see, you want to see if the president's standards are the same. The same president was at another function with his daughter. When the anthem was being sung, his daughter was on the phone.
But he didn't see her.
He didn't see her.
He couldn't have seen her.
He saw the chiefs, but he couldn't see his daughter.
That I've seen that video.
Yes.
Yeah, but from where the president was seated, he could not have seen his daughter. No, he couldn't.
Randy, you are holding brief for the president.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
If the president could reprimand our
No, you don't get the
chiefs,
point I'm making.
I get it, but
if
I
you
don't
watch
agree.
the video, the president was not in a position to have seen his daughter.
His daughter was sitting on his side.
Not behind him. Behind him, he couldn't have seen her.
Oh, Randy.
Yeah.
Randy, you are making
but just no, he couldn't have seen her. So
the bottom line for me is that this is the president's pet peeve. Not the
So you are saying
problems.
in this instance, he was greeting.
Oh, Randy, yes. He
and
went
then-
to greet.
and
Let me
you're
just
sure
say.
you're sure that these were chiefs.
Oh, Randy.
No, I just
yes.
want. And when he got there, they refused to get up.
It's not that they refused, Randy. That is our custom.
Okay.
And you see,
So they were seated.
They were seated. Will the president have done this to Amotia Ofori-Penyin?
Hold on. Just hold on.
Yes. I mean,
Is this what you are referring to?
yes, this is what I'm referring to, Randy. See the bodyguards asking them to stand up and look at the president. See, look, do you see his hands? He says, I'm greeting you, stand up. I am greeting you, stand up.
But is the person a chief?
Yes. Those are all chiefs. Those are all chiefs in KJB.
But
You see, Randy, look at him. He's even wearing the head regalia. These are chiefs. In KJB.
and chiefs are not supposed to
No, Randy.
get up
No.
when the president is.
No, Randy.
Really?
Randy, we revere our chiefs. And that's what I'm asking
You mean all category of chiefs?
Oh, Randy. A chief is a chief. Whether
No,
he's.
not all. Not
Randy.
all. Not
Randy,
all.
you have gone to his land. These are the chiefs in that area.
Okay.
These are the chiefs in that area. Okay. And that's the question I asked. That will he do this with other chiefs? If he went to Chebi, would he do this to Amotia Ofori-Penyin?
Maybe the chiefs will rise.
Randy,
when
we
they
have
get
seen the president greet all of them. Okay. They don't rise for the president. You see, we have a certain place where, as politicians, yes, we have political power, but the custodians of the land are our chiefs. This is the arrogance of power. This is the height of arrogance that has engulfed the president. This is what the president is more interested in. He's not interested in the fact that these same chiefs did not have water and electricity before they came to meet him. That's not his business. Okay. So this is the state of our country, where right now you have a president who sees himself as monarch, lord of all, king of all, ruler of all. Maybe we should add principality and power. I don't know if I should continue and add wickedness in high places.
No.
Because, Randy, where we live in today is wickedness, pure wickedness. That a woman will carry her baby for 10 months, 40 weeks, Randy. Give birth to her child, go through the pains of labor. Hey, Randy, like you, I have been in the theater 3 times with my wife. And I know what it means for women to give birth to a child. And Mother's Day is coming very soon. We celebrate all mothers in advance. A mother goes through all of this, gives birth to her child, and her child is killed because of the incompetence of Akufo-Addo and his energy ministry and those managing our energy sector. There is no power, and this child dies at Tema General Hospital. And people say we should not talk about it. Is this not wickedness in high places? Is this not unconscionable? How does the president sleep at night? The generator that powers his house is paid for with our taxes. When there was a power outage, we saw John Mahama using his holiday. Randy, John Mahama used his official holiday to go and do the negotiations on Ameri. Do you remember that? And brought us the Ameri power plant and brought car power to fix the problem. This was a president who went to parliament and said, I am president. I have been voted to fix the problems. I'm not going to pass the buck. I will fix the problem. And he fixed the problem. Today, you have a president who is more interested in renaming assets that were left for him. He's not creating his own. And we are in a complete mess. Randy, look, we can't wait for December 7th to have our say and have our way. Because enough of this ineptitude, enough of this crass incompetence, enough of this sheer arrogance of power.
Fred Agüello said via text, he says that the president's daughter sat by his side, not behind him.
He was by his side. Randy, I remember the video. The president's daughter was by his side.
Oh, child.
She wasn't behind him. She was by his side. That's why I told you that I've heard you, but I disagree with you. She was by his side. I remember that video very well. She was by his side. She was on the phone. For the same national anthem that the president reprimanded chiefs. The president doesn't care about anybody, doesn't respect anybody, not even our revered chiefs. So how then will he care about Randy ABBEY and Sam George and Akwele and Akoko, whose lights are off? Or Umaru Sanders' daughters? What value do he doesn't care about us? He doesn't.
All right, okay. All right. So, but at least the deputy minister, who is also the board chairman of ECG, has given us
Randy,
fair
no. Those are mere words. Randy, we would have taken them as assurances if they had told us, if his statement had told us what steps are being taken. Randy, when you owe for gas, when you do not have money to import heavy crude or pay for gas, how are you going to fix it? Is it a Facebook tweet you use to buy the gas?
You always negotiate.
But Randy, what negotiations have gone on?
We always negotiate.
Look, Randy, we've always been in government. When you negotiate, you go back to them and say, I owe you 100 million, at least this 20 million, take. Where are we even getting that?
Yeah, but government has been doing that with IPPs.
And we are saying to
they find them money.
There is no money. There is no money. There is no money to pay. That's why we are in this mess. Don't forget that all of this has been given. You see the president's daughter standing right by him. Not behind him, right by him, on the phone. The national anthem was being sung. He was looking at her. She turned her back to the president. This one, he didn't see. This one, he didn't complain. But the chief, my paramount chief in Pram, Nene Waka III, he went and he sent Henry Kote. You see Henry Kote's size. Imagine you as a chief sitting there, Henry Kote comes to you, Honorable Henry Kote comes to you to shake you. And then the president was sitting up there and shake. So when I took the podium, I had to apologize. Lest they manhandle my chief.
Yeah, but you apologize because the
I agree with the principle.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you cannot then say that the president is a principled person. Because when it was his daughter, he failed to uphold the same standard. He should have taken the phone from his daughter and said, respect the anthem.
Okay.
But you see, it's a family trait.
It's okay. Don't go.
The way he disrespects us, his daughter is disrespecting the country.
It's fine.
And he cannot call her to order.
It's okay.
The same way he can't call his ministers, his errant ministers. Randy, can you imagine? And no, let me give you another example. Randy,
the examples will suffice.
One.
No, it's fine.
Professor Nana spoke about it yesterday. One.
No, we'll come to Professor Nana when we get there.
Because Randy,
it's okay.
Jifativo, Honorable Jifativo. Randy, 1 minute. Honorable Jifativo.
Judge.
In the Auditor General's report, they said she paid 1.3 million Ghana cedis, 1.3 million Ghana cedis to a company to do brass branding, and they thought it was not value for money.
Yes.
The state recouped that money.
Yes.
Jifativo was asked to resign and was relieved of her responsibility.
Yes.
The president relieved her of her responsibility. She didn't steal the money.
Yes.
They said she exercised poor judgment. Now you have Cecilia Dapa, who has over $1 million stolen from her house and she didn't realize. Over $1 million, not cedis. Now
but she's the one who reported to the police. So why do you say she didn't realize?
She didn't realize until it had gotten. She realized because they caught the person. She can't down. Ni a JJ Eliake toko portos yemi. The money was so much. Look, Randy, me and you. If somebody take your 10,000 Ghana in your room, you will know. Because the 10,000 now last, I don't know. Yeah, to me, we have 1 million. And now about Joe 1 million. Take 1 million Ghana, $1 million. No lay. If it was not that you claim your husband came to meet the person in the act, taking another tranche, you didn't know. Randy, when such a minister was asked to resign, and she resigned. Did you see the love letter the president wrote to her? My dear Cecilia.
That's the president's style. Watch. Watch the letters he writes.
No.
The one with a green pen.
Randy,
you see.
No, Randy.
It's his style.
No.
It's his style.
When the president was relieving Frimpong Boateng, did he call him my dear Frimpong Boateng?
Oh, he didn't relieve him. I mean, they served the term. His second term, he didn't appoint him.
All the people he's fired. The president has fired people recently. All the people he's fired. Did you see my dear?
We have not seen their letters.
Did you see my dear?
We have not seen their letters.
And I'm telling you, didn't write them, my dear.
How will you?
It was Bedio Cho who wrote to those people.
Oh.
Those people, Randy, we have seen letters asking people to leave. It's the secretary to the president, Nana Santi Bedio Cho, who writes to them. But when Cecilia Dapa, after taking Bola minister,
please,
over $1 million.
Let's be careful. You do not know the source of the money.
I have not said the source of money is government money.
No, contrary to what she has said is the source.
Yes.
So just be careful.
I haven't said anything otherwise. But Randy, I'm saying that if the Bola minister, the minister overseeing a Bola, could have over $1 million stolen and she didn't know, then you can imagine how much has been stolen in the finance minister international.
This is an insinuation that suggests that the money she has a correlation with her position.
You are the one making that insinuation.
No,
Sam George did not make it.
I'm just saying that. Just separate them.
Randy, that's not how the people of Ningo and Pram understand what I said.
I am part of them.
You've been away for too long. but imagine, Randy, imagine John Mahama writing "My Dear Jifa Ativo."
What would be wrong with that?
Hey, do you know what civil
Sanedeba.
society would have done? Do you know what Gabi Ochidaku would have done with demonstration?
Okay.
Do you know what those people? Ken Oforiatta would have been walking in the streets sharing pamphlets saying that see the letter John Mahama wrote.
Okay. We'll be back shortly.
This is their track record.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV with me on the show this morning. I have the Honorable Sam Nate George, and we've also been joined by the Honorable Amidu Chinia Isahaku, who is the Member of Parliament for the Sisala East constituency and also Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
Right. Now, what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, us got the Mola, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now, pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the GamePad Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gamepadgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some Mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. GamePad Games, more Mola, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayesuku, that could be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. It's not for persons under 18 and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your energy, strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 055 001 0000. All right, so today is the birthday of a person who I'm sure that most of you, our viewers, have heard his name mentioned here, but you don't know who he is. I always read a message from Mark Kojo Boafu, who sends us this message from the United States of America every single morning. I always make the point that if you look at the time difference, he obviously has to wake up at 2 a.m. In order to watch this program, and he does that religiously. Today is his birthday. So that's Mark Kojo Boafu, for those who don't know. And for those who sometimes think it's Kojo Chumboafu. Okay, so that's Mark Kojo Boafu, who's the ardent viewer who always watches and sends us messages from the States. Today is your birthday. So Mark Kojo Boafu, happy birthday to you. It's also the birthday of our own Moro Audu, host of Inside Pages. Today, Moro Audu is 46 today. Okay, so happy 46th birthday to Moro Audu, who's the host of Inside Pages. He airs Saturday mornings. So Moro, we are quite a mischievous young man. So Moro, happy birthday, happy 46th birthday to you. And we pray for God's grace, favor, and mercy on your life as well. So happy birthday to you, Moro Audu. And let me say congratulations to another young friend of mine, Nana Kofi Frimpong, and your wife. Your wife is delivered. Okay, so both of you, a daughter. So congratulations to Nana Kofi Frimpong and your wife on the occasion of the birth of your daughter. Congratulations. And we pray for God's favor on her life as well. But this morning I received a sad news. This gentleman used to take me around anytime I travel to Tamale. He will be the one to pick me up from the airport, take me around, get me the TZ and watch it. And he's the first person who showed me. There's a place at Tamale where they do a lot of a confirm and kebabs, that popular joint. He's the first person who took me there and all that. The last time I went to Tamale for the GFA elections, he wasn't too well. I didn't see him. Apparently, he had not been well for 3 years, and I didn't know that. Just this morning, I got a very terrible message that he's passed on. Mohammed Abwaji. My condolences to his family. Because he's a Muslim, I'm told he will be buried at 10 a.m. this morning, Tamale. So Mohammed Abwaji, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. It's unfortunate, but we can only commiserate with the family. And hope that you find a perfect resting place with God. Okay. All right. So yesterday, the NDC outdoored the running mate of the flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. The running mate we all know as Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman. I want us to watch excerpts of her speech, and then I'll take the views of my panel on yesterday's function.
I will share in our collective successes and share responsibility for our setbacks, if any. And at the time of reckoning, Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I will not, in the advancement of self-serving ambition, declare to the whole world that I was only the driver's mate. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I go on to other important matters, please let me state my understanding of where we are as a country, as a nation, and the implications of what lay ahead. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is elitism masquerading as intellectualism. It is weakness strutting as courage, and crony capitalism masked as development in freedom. It is shameless hypocrisy pretending to be objective. This will never move our country forward. Rather, the most significant achievement of all these has been a country in near insolvency. Its natural resources such as water, land, and even the environment in rebellion. A people harassed and intimidated into numbness, and as some will say cynically, some of us also bribed into silence. I envisage a report on the administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the ticket of the NDC in his reign 2013 to early 2017. Across the political divide, across social and professional groupings, among the youth, you hear complaints and stories concerning state capture, where this government has chosen to use its power not in the broader interests of all Ghanaians, but to favor a small clique. What is that? John and I have agreed that whoever has participated in the plunder of the state must be held accountable. And my friends, this is not a threat. It is a promise. It is a promise which is premised on the wishes of our citizens across the political divide, and it is hinged on the principle of accountability. Let us face the facts. Today, what do we hear? Is the promotion of ethnocentric elitism, which is masquerading as intellectualism. You will not find him as president clearing malfeasance and writing love letters to prejudice a bad situation. You will not find that unemployment jumped from 8 to 14%. And actually check the figures. Check the actual figures. Go beyond the percentages. And you will not find a debt to GDP that has gone a wall, or a city that refuses to be tamed. Under his tenure, you will not find weak efforts to hide the truth of Dumsok. The reports will not include scandals surrounding the PDS, Australian visa, Keldon JVG, Boss contaminated fuel, excavations, and Aboboya tricycles that can fly faster than Nkonfem. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will not find unfulfilled promises of one village, one dam, $1 million per constituency per year, 350 secondary schools from scratch, and too many betrayals and too many instances of disrespect. You will not find in his time a tracker too embarrassed and gone into hiding because it is too afraid to expose its plagiarized content. In truth, such an investigation of his time would not reveal over 100 scandals and still counting. What will the report say about the NDC under John Dramani Mahama? You will find that journalists were not hounded into exile. Should I add more? Okay. The report will find that once upon some years ago, the blame for power outages was placed at the doorstep of the president and the minister for energy. The report will find a president who solved the energy crisis that he inherited, and a minister who did resign on principle. The report will tell of a timetable for load shedding, provided to respect the dignity of citizens and acknowledge their right to plan and also to learn the truth about our situation with energy. The report will contrast the existing arrogance in leadership with that of the respectful JDM, who builds the children and youth by offering lasting skills, quality education, serious adaptable training, who opens up the economy to create more space for jobs and self-actualization. The report will highlight a JDM who does not line up desperate young people in the heat of the tropical sun to march and salute him as head of state for jobs that have no head, they have no tail, they have no future. The report will explain the foundations of the principles of the policies of the NDC, that they will see that the NDC strives and thrives on consensus building, from observation, study, analysis, vigorous debates that tolerate all views, to an agreement on the options at hand, and end with the election ahead is not so much about Ghana making history, although that is important. It is not so much about returning a competent president back to power. It is not even about producing the first woman vice president, historical and exciting though these are. It is not only about bringing the NDC back to power, although that is indispensable in our current circumstances. The elections ahead and winning them is about winning elections for a purpose. The purpose goes beyond those enumerated above. The purpose is the opportunity to heal our country again. It is about the opportunity to pull Ghana back from the precipice of destruction, of normalizing corruption, of incomprehensive greed, from deep despair. The election ahead and winning it for our party is about hard work and abiding sacrifice. It is to embrace everyone in building a Ghana that functions again. It is to work towards a Ghana where citizens have confidence and hope and are determined to regain their independence of thought and of agenda.
All right, so we just watched excerpts of Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman's speech at the UPSA yesterday. Okay, so Honorable Jane, I don't know if you had the opportunity of listening or watching her yesterday.
Oh, I listened briefly. Okay. Yesterday, when they started, I followed for some time, but I had to move to
somewhere else
to do something.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I thought when I was moving, I thought the radio would be carrying it. Unfortunately, when I try all the radio stations,
you should have put your dial on 91.9 FM. Original FM, okay. 91.9. Okay. Yeah.
I tried City.
You won't miss anything.
From the beginning, City was carrying when I was coming from the office. They started carrying it, and then I went and started watching TV. Then I was expecting they would continue, but unfortunately, when I got into the car, they had truncated it.
I think that there's something that perhaps the organizers and others must note. Sometimes, so yesterday, the speech shouldn't have gone beyond 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is a time when major networks, especially television, they have news. And so, I mean, some of them, most stations will not carry, but that's just something that the organizers can look at later on. Yes, Honorable, please go on.
Well, let me say good morning to you and good morning to my colleague, Honorable Sam George, and good morning to the people of Sisala East.
Yes, very important.
All those listening to us this morning. First of all, let me congratulate the professor for the second opportunity to serve as a running mate to the former president, John Dramani Mahama. And let me also generally congratulate the NDC for having a successful program. You know, organizing programs is a difficult situation. And when you are an organizer of a program, you work so hard to make sure that you finish the program without any bad incidents. And from where I sit, I think that they did not record any bad incidents. They had a successful program to unveil their running mates and to complete their ticket for the 2024 election. So I congratulate them. The professor, in his speech, I mean, she's an English teacher, a professor in English who has been a lecturer for so many years. At least as for public speaking, I don't think there should be a problem with it. But of course, sometimes when you, no matter how intelligent you are, when you come into the political limelight for the first time, you have some weaknesses in terms of having the political understanding and presenting your issues to meet the expectation of people. In the case of our flag bearer, when he was first nominated, because he was in the mainstream politics, of course, with time, there were changes. And I'm sure that with the professor too, with time, there have been changes. And she delivered her address nicely and made all the points that she needed to make in the advancement of the NDC and why the NDC should be elected. There were some few issues that I took notice of, and I want to, I mean, I don't have any issue regarding the propositions in terms of what the NDC will do when they have the power come 2025. If Ghanaians elect John Mahama as president, what they will do, they will, I mean, ministers and former appointees of this government they think have done anything toward, they will prosecute them and all that. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the laws are there to guide all of us. And everybody, once you're in a public office, you must subject yourself to the laws. And so at any point in time, if there are issues against you, you go and defend yourself. And I am confident that that one, nobody should have a problem with it. Even Dr. Bawumia as our flag bearer will subject himself to the laws of Ghana when he becomes president and will subject all his appointees and former appointees to the same law. So that is a big deal. But the issue of the professor making the claim that in times of reckoning he will not declare himself a driver's mate, and I mean, I'm sure it was just to make a mockery of the statement the flag bearer of the MPP made. But for me, I think, Randy,
Yes.
the Constitution of Ghana, I keep saying, has constrained every vice president in the past and every potential vice president to the extent that your effectiveness to a large extent depends on the president because of the kind of constitutional arrangements that we have. It has made the president so powerful that the vice president's success to a large extent depends on the president because the Constitution has not given the vice president that explicit room to operate. When you look at Article 57 of our Constitution, it says there shall be a president of the Republic of Ghana who shall be the head of state and head of government and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ghana. That means a lot. He's the head of state, he's the head of government, the president. Then you go on to look at 58.1. It also says that the executive authority of Ghana shall vest in the president and shall be exercised in accordance with the provision of this constitution. So apart from the president subjecting himself to the constitution, I mean, he can do anything. The only thing he cannot do is something that is against the constitution. So the executive powers or authority is vested in the president. But when you look at Article 61, who talks about the vice president, it talks about there shall be a vice president of Ghana who shall perform such functions as may be assigned to him by this constitution or by the president. Now, when you look at the constitution, the duties assigned to the vice president from the constitution are so limited. There are just a few. I mean, you cannot point to any serious matter that has been left in the hands of the vice president office to deal with behind the president. So the major issues the vice president has to handle will have to be issues assigned to him by the president. I am making this point because I do not want us to pretend that the office of the vice president is so powerful and influential as provided in the Constitution. And the Constitution and the laws of Ghana are the guiding principles or directives of operations. You can't operate outside the constitution. And so as long as our constitution remains that way, or this way, every vice president in the past and in the future will be constrained. And you can look at even the historical antecedent from Aka as vice president. He had occasion to have problems with, his president. Came to Professor Mills.
You know, at that time, the Constitution had express rules for the Vice President.
Yes.
At the time.
Yes.
The chair of the Police Council, Armed Forces Council, those were expressly stated. And then an amendment was made.
Yes. Yeah. And even with that, you saw the challenge. He had problems with the president. Because you normally have even individuals who are below the Vice President, who can be more powerful than the president. We can dispute it.
Of course, in their case, the sitting Vice President had joined the opposition. And
no,
was
he
a
joined
running
because
mate.
there were issues.
No, I'm coming. And was a running mate to the opposition. Then he was sitting in cabinet.
Randy, he took that decision because there were already issues.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have joined the opposition. And at that time, people allege, whether true or false, that the First Lady, who has no, standing as far as the constitution is concerned, was more powerful than him. And fast forward, all the vice presidents have come. We have heard those stories. We have heard them. Professor Mills' era came to Aliu Mahama, came to Emisa Atta, and John Mahama.
What did you hear?
Oh, Randy, you are more experienced in this.
Because I didn't hear the things that you're talking about. That's why
have you not heard that when JM was vice president,
yes,
even Koku and Yudoho could make stronger decision in government than him, and JM even considered resigning as vice president?
Oh, those are just
no.
Those are blue kiosk stuff.
And Emisata's story is not different.
Which story?
Like he being undermined by the office of the president or some individual even below the president. Aliu Muhammad's story is not different. I'm just making the point that the powers of the state and government are vested in the president.
That's not doubt.
And the vice president can only act at the instance of the president.
True.
So your relevance is dependent on the president.
True.
So for me, I don't want anybody to push the idea that the vice president can do something exceptional behind the president. It's not possible. It's not possible. And all the vice presidents we have had in the past have been subject to the
But has anybody, if you're referring to Prof's speech, did she in any way suggest that a vice president can do something without recourse to the president?
So the scenario the flag bearer of the MPP painted that he's a driver's mate is to suggest that he's not in charge. Is that not the case? That is the case the vice president, the current vice president is making. That as vice president, he's a driver's mate, and so he's not in charge.
Why did
he doesn't have executive?
Why did he make that statement?
Because he doesn't have executive authority.
No, I'm saying what influenced the statement? What prompted him to say that? Everybody knows a vice president is not a president. But why will he, on that occasion, make that statement? What was he seeking to achieve?
Something significant.
Okay.
There are people who think that everything that has happened under the MPP government under President Akufo-Addo, once he's the vice president, he cannot do something different from what is happening.
Okay.
But the point is that as vice president, you don't have executive authority as we have in the Constitution. And so you are not solely responsible. You don't make the decisions. You advise, you support your president. So he wants people to know that his role as vice president cannot be the same as his role as a president, because the two have different functions. And that is the thing that he tried to use that driver's mate scenario to demonstrate. Nothing more. But if you listen to Professor Nana Jenopoku yesterday, she tried creating the impression that she will not ever. What is it?
She look at how she started it. The point she was making was that she will not, on the basis of an ambition, say that. That was the point she was making. You can disagree with her, but obviously...
But the point is
the
that...
point she was making was that, but for ambition, the sitting vice president would not have said what he said.
But Randy, let's be fair to the sitting vice president. In this MPP government, there is nobody, even including the president himself, who has defended the policies of this government than Dr. Bawumia. Yes.
Okay.
There is nobody who has defended Akufo-Addo's government programs and policies than Dr. Bawumia. Of course, there are a few areas he may disagree with, but it is not significant for anybody to suggest that Bawumia doesn't appreciate Akufo-Addo's government and therefore he's distancing himself from Akufo-Addo's government. And when over the years, he's the one who has been speaking and talking on the major policy decisions of government. So, I mean, what is it? Okay. But for instance, in his opinion, if e-levy as an electronic financial platform doesn't serve the purpose and the vision he has to promote electronic transaction or the financial system, and he disagree with that, or he says that when I become president, take this tax away. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you are part of a team, you take responsibility for everything. But that does not mean that you don't disagree with some of the things the team will do. As a member of the team, you accept responsibility that, yes, the successes and the failures, we are all part of it.
Right.
But of course, at your personal level, if you are the head and you have to make decisions, you make them differently. And so that is the point Doctor has been trying to make. Okay. Now, the professor talks about unfulfilled promises, that the NDC will not have unfulfilled promises. I think that is one of the statements she made. Now, I want to, this is not the first, Mahama is not a new quantity.
Yes.
He has been president before, and she herself has been a minister before. Now, if you look at the 2012 manifesto of the NDC, page 92, President Mahama promised to establish MP's Constituency Development Fund to replace the MP's Common Fund. It never happened. It was an unfulfilled promise.
Okay.
The president in the 2012 manifesto, which he became president for 4 years, said he will ensure the people directly elect their MMDCs. Page 93 of the NDC manifesto. It didn't happen. The president said he was going to make the central government assume responsibility for the payment of the remuneration of assembly members, page 94 of the NDC manifesto. It didn't happen. The president said he was going to establish 10 teacher training colleges. It didn't happen. There are so many of them. So as for policy proposals that don't come to fruition, it comes with every government. You have to do a total analysis of the government's performance vis-a-vis their promises. But the fact that you have not fulfilled all your promises does not necessarily mean that you have failed. If that is the premise on which Professor is talking about, then John Mahama as president failed. Because there were so many promises that he made in his 2012 manifesto for which he was elected as president that he never did. He never even touched them. Even this, Kwalugu Dam that we are talking about, that MPP actually cut short and work has not been done, was promised in the 2012 manifesto of the NDC to build for the same multi-purpose dam so that they can generate power and create 150 hectares of land for irrigation. Contained in the NDC 2012 manifesto for which John Mahama was elected as president. Those things didn't happen. So I admit that as parties, sometimes we make promises that we are not able to do all of them. But at the end of the day, we have to look at it. We have to do a total analysis of all the promises vis-a-vis the things that you have been able to do. And then somebody can make a judgment that even though you have not done all, but at least you have done better. That is why the other day I was mentioning to somebody, when you go to either the university or secondary school and they are grading people, they will say that, okay, 80 to 100 is A1. Why don't they say 100% is A1? You don't need to get 100% to be given A1, because no matter how intelligent you are, there can still be gaps, but the grade A1 can still reflect once you hit a certain percentage. So that's assertion of trying to claim that this government has had unfulfilled promises, and John Mahama under him in 2025 onwards, if they are elected, that will not happen. I think it's a misplaced. Now, let me look at her performance, because she has been an education minister before. Randy, with all sincerity, I think that the professor, I personally admire her. I like her because, I'm a trained teacher, and one of the important professions that people don't respect is the teaching profession, because teachers train everybody at all levels, from kindergarten to primary to JSS to secondary to university. They are the people who build the human resource for the state. And a teacher impacts the life of many innocent people who become shining stars of the society. So for me, I respect anybody who is a teacher. And having stayed in the university and start from where she started, and the many years taught so many students, became vice chancellor and all that, I think that she has made significant contribution to the human resource development of the country. But as education minister, Randy, I can say that from my assessment, she's the worst education minister we have seen in this Fourth Republic. Because under her, you know, when President Kufuor introduced capitation grants, it started with 3 Ghana cedis. NDC for 8 years, they increased it from 3 cedis to 4 cedis, 50 pesos. And the last 2 academic years of NDC under her as education minister, they couldn't pay a peso of capitation grant. In fact, she proposed cancellation of the policy.
She proposed?
Yes.
Where?
In Ghana.
Where did she propose that?
As the minister.
It's not true.
Oh, Randy.
It's not true. It's not true.
Why do you say it's not true?
No, it is not true. Just show me evidence of her proposal.
Oh, I'm saying that
yes,
it's contained in her handing over notes.
Huh?
Yes. But the point I am making is that for 2 years, 2 academic years, she didn't pay capitation grants, even at 4.5 Ghana cedis. Fast forward in 2017, this was taken to 10 Ghana cedis. Look at the increment, look at the jump. For 8 years, they added 1.5 Ghana cedis, because the thing was 3 cedis when they came. And for 8 years, 1.15 Ghana cedis were added. And in 2017, it was increased by over 100%. That is 1. 2, feeding grants. In the last 2 academic years, 2014, 2015, and 2015, 2016, you saw most schools were closing down because they were not paying. Most secondary schools,
they closed down.
They went on, headmasters were closing down secondary schools, and then government has to intervene several times because she couldn't pay, and there were 2 years arrears at the time she left.
What's the situation today?
It's better.
What is better? What's the situation today?
They are feeding the students.
Do you see feeding students?
Yes.
Did you
Even though I agree.
Did you ever receive those text messages asking parents and students
I have even
to be contributing to feed students?
I have contributed myself, but I'm saying that there is improvement. The magnitude of, the challenge has improved, even though there's still room for improvement.
Okay.
Now, under her, teachers who are employed, they can employ you for 1 year, 2 years, and they introduce 3 months arrears policy. You only pay 3 months arrears.
It's not true.
It's true. I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. I am telling you.
Chinia, hold on.
As at the time I was a teacher, I was PRO for GS.
Chinia, please.
No. Randy.
Chinia, please. Hold on. Are you suggesting that the government, in this case, you're even zeroing on Prof. So Professor Nena Jane,
as education minister,
introduced a policy, which said that although you have worked for 1 year, or 2 years, you will be paid 3 months' salary,
Arrears.
Not for the 1 year that you have worked.
Yes.
Not for the 2 years.
Yes.
And that was a policy.
Yes.
It's not true.
That is why you pay.
Please.
What
it's
is the
not
policy?
true. Hold on, please.
You
please.
cross-check, Randy.
Chief, just hold on a minute. Where you are sitting, the last holiday, I've forgotten which day it was. I think was it the Ramadan one? The Honorable Setekpe, who was finance minister, he was sitting in this very chair.
Okay.
And he addressed this issue. He explained what it was about, that it was an issue of validation. And so they needed to validate some stuff with the teachers. And so what they said was that pay them 3 months, pay them 3 months so they can have something, whilst the validation goes on to ascertain the exact data to be able to pay. That's what Honorable Setekpe, sitting in this chair, said. Is what happened.
And for 2 years. And for 2 years they were validating.
No.
I am telling you, Randy, I am saying that for 2 years, every teacher that came out was paid salary arrears of only 3 months.
No, Chinia, why
all those arrears accumulated, they were paid under MPP government.
Okay, so you are saying a different thing.
Yes, so the policy was that if you work for 1 year, 2 years, but you are paid only 3 months. And so for that whole period, they were validating.
Chinia, please, you are a member of parliament.
Yes.
You are a deputy minister.
Yes.
People are watching us.
Yes.
When you say a policy was introduced.
But you are just telling me that the finance minister says same. That they pay 3 months. They pay 3 months, and they now try to validate the total amount the person. So
but is that true?
So when you make that decision, what is it?
No, please.
When you make a decision that okay, anybody who comes out, we only pay you 3 months, and then we take time to validate. What is it?
Please.
What?
Please.
How do you call that?
Chinia.
No, Randy, help me name it. Okay,
Chinia.
You give me a better name.
Chinia, and to my intervention, you created the impression that a policy was put in place which says that irrespective of the period that you've worked, you'll be paid 3 months. The rest is forfeited.
That was what they did to the teachers. They paid 3 months. For the 4 years he was there as education minister, they paid only 3 months.
Just go on.
People taught for 3 years. So are you saying that for 4 years they couldn't validate the arrears of the teachers?
No, you are now raising another argument. What I just took you on was that you claimed that the woman as education minister brought a policy, and that policy was that irrespective of the period that you have worked, you'll be paid only 3 months. And
Randy,
I said,
so help me give an appropriate name.
It is not true. If you had said that,
help me give an appropriate
if you had
name.
Said,
because what they did was that,
if you had said that teachers who had worked for 1 year, 2 years, their payments delayed and they were giving only 3 months, whilst they said we were validating something, nobody would have even raised an issue.
But before then, nothing like that happens. When you're a teacher and you are posted and your salary is coming, if you have taught for 1 year, they pay your 1 year arrears for you. It was only that period, and under President Akufo-Addo, that has never happened. When they pay you your arrears, it can delay for 1 year, it can delay for 2 years, but when you are being paid, you paid your total arrears. As it has happened in the last 7 years. But I am saying, under her, if you work for 1 year, 2 years, and they're coming to pay you, they pay you only 3 months. So what is it? How do you call that?
And the rest is forfeited.
Well, what they were, because people work for 4 years, they didn't pay them their arrears.
I'm asking you, so the rest was forfeited.
MPP had to come and rescue the teachers. Because we came and we paid them.
Just go on.
But under her, that was what was happening.
All right.
Now, even at the tertiary level, under her, tertiary students were made to pay electricity bills. It was introduced. It took the intervention of this government to withdraw that particular decision. Under her, teacher training colleges allowances was cancelled. It has been reintroduced. So, her performance as education minister shows it all. That as a political office holder, she failed woefully.
Right.
And I don't see any new thing that she's bringing as vice president. Now, the last point I want to make, Randy, is the statement the national chairman of the NDC made at the program. Quite intriguing.
Which statement?
He said that people are already taking positions and sharing positions, and others are parading themselves as appointing authority, and that was discouraging party members and all that. Everybody should relax. They should let them work. They should go and hunt. And when they get the meat, they will share it. So this is food for thought for Ghanaians.
Right.
I mean, they need to interrogate the national chairman's statement. It means a lot. It's a pregnant statement.
All right.
Samjo, what position have they shared for you? He said they are sharing the positions. And there are people who have imposed themselves as appointing authority.
I see.
Besides the flag bearer.
I believe my role will be to go after all the monies you've stolen, including the ones that is alleged to have been stolen by your former boss.
Is that how you're starting?
Yes, if that's the question he's going to ask me, that's the answer.
But you know,
The role I want
You
is to hunt the thieves in your government, starting with your former boss.
So what position is that?
Thief hunter, bounty hunter. That's the position I want. I'll come after all the thieves in your government. So prepare, I'm coming.
As for that one, there's not me. I don't have
Prepare,
problem. Anybody, when there is change of government, or even when a government continues, I mean, taking people on for wrongdoing. I mean, it's once
No,
you're a
you
public
asked me,
officer.
why are you talking
once
plenty?
you're a
You
public
asked me
officer, you
what
must
job I
subject yourself
want.
to.
I've told you the job I want.
That is my job.
I want to catch the thieves.
Job. That is my job.
That's all.
That job is not under the constitution. So okay, name what portfolio is that?
Leave with that one for John Mahama to name.
political
Okay.
hunter.
Political hunter.
Office of the
Office of the
political
political
hunter.
hunter. Leave me alone. That's what I want. You have asked me what job I want. I've told you the job I want. Now you have a problem with it.
Say they are sharing the position.
You've asked me my position.
So
I've told you. I also cry about that one.
I'm not crying.
So leave me alone. Now
Why you
let
come
me
for
speak.
hunting to do with that?
So let me speak. Randy,
Yes.
before I go into prof statement, let me just deal emphatically with something that was the crux of the whole submission by Honorable Chinia. He came here with the Constitution.
Okay.
Article 63 of the Constitution talks about the Vice President. And it says, the provisions of Article 62 of this Constitution apply to a candidate for election as Vice President. So what does Article 62 of the Constitution say? Qualifications of the President. And it goes on to list the qualifications of a president. He must be a citizen of Ghana by birth, attain the age of 40, and be a person otherwise qualified to be elected as a member of parliament. So in determining constitutionally, because he went to the constitution to say that basically the vice president is ceremonial and has nothing, no function except basically to accompany the president. So the statement by Baumia to say he's a driver's mate is not wrong. But the constitution in 63, where it talks about the vice president, says that there must be a qualification for the vice president. So you can't just go and pick anybody anyhow. Because in fact, in that same 60, in 66, it says where the president dies, the vice president will assume office and complete that term. So it means that if it doesn't die, when the vice president is out, when the president is out, the vice president steps into
And if it doesn't go out?
Oh, have you seen a president in Ghana who's not traveled for 4 years?
Oh, yes.
Well, clearly not Akufo-Addo. We are dealing with about Akufo-Addo. Yes. Akufo-Addo 7 years, he's traveled almost 4 years out of it.
President Rawlings could stay 6 years without travel.
Yeah, but we're talking about President Akufo-Addo. I mean, not President Rawlings.
No, but I guess the point that Chinia was making was that.
Randy,
I guess the point he was making.
We're in April. Let me throw. You remember somebody said in April, I'll throw.
You know, I think the point was. I think the point he was making was that the vice president only exercises functions and duties as given him by the president.
Magana Yakari, I'm grateful. Yeah. I agree. So this is what President Akufo-Addo said. He said this 3 years ago. He says, addressing the chiefs, people, and elders of Wale Wale in the northeast region on Tuesday, 22nd June 2021, as part of his 2-day working visit to the region. President Akufo-Addo said he is grateful to the people of Wale Wale for giving him, and by extension the country, their son, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to partner him in the exercise of executive authority in the country. Partner. I want to end by saying a big thank you to the Northeast, especially the people of Wale Wale. You have given me a first-class assistant. Not mate, assistant. First, he uses the word partner, and then says assistant in the form of Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia. He has been of great help to me in my governance. Then, the same Akufo-Addo, 23rd October 2014, Akufo-Addo chooses in quotes top-notch Bawumia as running mate. Now, this is what President Akufo-Addo says. I have been very lucky to have Mahamudu by my side since 2008. His credentials as top-notch economist were always known to all and have been reinforced by his analytical work and performance in this sector in the past 5 years, earning him the sobriquet of Dr. Prophet. Then Akufo-Addo said this: the economy was always going to be the main battleground for the 2016 elections. But the dire situation the country has been plunged into by the incompetence of the John Dramani Mahama administration makes the presence of Dr. Bawumia on the NPP presidential ticket even more appropriate. Luckily, there is real chemistry between the two of us as well, and I look forward to us leading the team that will ensure. So, every time, and I can go on and on, Randy, I have at least 7 different instances. In fact, Rebecca Akufo-Addo came to my constituency and met the Presbyterian Church and spoke about how economically savvy Dr. Bawumia was. I have the story here. Samira Bawumia, we all know, said her husband is an economic whiz kid. So, what has happened, Chinia? If you are telling us now that the vice president is simply an aplanke jile, ebeni chumo papako, achuole tomo messenger, yafeine. Like, are you telling me that it's one of two things? Either Dr. Bawumia has been a colossal failure. He's historically failed at the job he was given, the one task he was given, managing the economy. He was given a dollar that was literally edging to 4. Today, the dollar is changing at what? 14. It was 4 to the city when it was handed to him. He was sold to us as an economic whiz kid, gone down the drain. It's either he's failed at his job, or it is that he's done his job, but President Akufo-Addo does not trust his judgment anymore. And so everything, and that's what Bawumia is basically telling us, that I have given all the suggestions, and that's what Chine has tried to re-echo here. I've tried to give all the solutions. I have the solutions, but Akufo-Addo didn't listen to me, and that's why we are in this mess. Let's ask ourselves, if Akufo-Addo, who brought him, stuck with him for 3 elections, 12 years, or 8 years before making him vice president, and has been with him for 16 years, literally, since he nominated him in 2014. In fact, in 2007, since he nominated him in 2007 till now, Randy, we should begin to ask ourselves, what does President Akufo-Addo know about Bawumia's judgment that he's no longer listening to him? That now Bawumia needs to now become his own man before the man who was sold to us as having the solutions to our problem can now be trusted. But Randy, that is to let you know that when Bawumia himself describes himself as a driver's mate, it is a self-admittance of his failure and his incompetence and his unsuitability for the high office of the office of president. And that he cannot be trusted to... Randy, you cannot take this country. You see, and you know why I went to the Constitution? To show you Article 63. Article 63 tells you the qualifications of the vice president and of the president. But 63 says that Article 62 tells you the qualification of the president, and 63 tells you that must be the same qualification of the vice president. But Randy, DVLA, when you go there, the requirements for a driver are different from the requirements for a driver's mate. Nobody checks the eyesight of a driver's mate.
The DVLA does not do a driver's mate.
Absolutely. Because nobody checks them. There is no requirement or qualification to be a driver's mate, but there is a qualification to be a driver. If Bawumia tells us so, out of the abundance of the heart of a man's heart, his mouth will speak. If Dr. Bawumia himself has told us that he's a driver's mate, how do you then put a vehicle like Ghana in the hands of an unqualified person? But you see, Randy, yesterday I went to bed with a renewed hope in the future of this country.
Why?
I have listened to Professor Nana Jane, and I was in the same UPSA hall when she was outdoored by President Mahama in 2020. Randy, I must state without any equivocation that the political maturity of Professor Nana over the last 4 years has been remarkable. And once again, it leads me to the conclusion that John Mahama is a safe pair of hands to run this country. Because John Mahama has been able to identify
a diamond in the rough, polished it, refined it, and today it is a shining gem for all of us to see. When he decided to stick with Professor Nana Jane, it showed his remarkable consistency and unwavering commitment to inclusivity and innovation, as Professor Nana has spoken. And Randy, if you take I can show the cameras. I have taken my time to study this since last night, like a student. You see the way I've color-coded it. It took me back to my handout days. Because, Randy, it is heavy. I've read this over 6 times. And each time I am in awe since last night. Randy, I am happy to hear a running mate make a categoric pledge to her partner, the president, to be the candidate, the flag bearer, that she would repay his abiding confidence with loyalty, understanding, and a devotion to duty. That is not a character trait in Mahmoud Bawumia. Mahmoud Bawumia has thrown his boss under the bus. He's hands off. Everything that his boss has said and done, he's basically distanced himself away from it. Chinya was in parliament. He appears to be a gentleman. But when he came to E-Levy,
what do you mean by he appears to be?
His outlook appears to be a gentleman. I mean, that's to his credit. He doesn't appear to be a ragamuffin. He appears to be a gentleman. However, I remember that evening in parliament, in the chamber, and I could remember how Chinya moved from his seat at the back towards the front because of E-Levy, fighting us on E-Levy. The same Chinya was sitting in UPSA when Mahmoud Bawumia said he's going to scrap E-Levy, and Chinya was clapping. If anybody had slapped you in the chamber that day, that would have been an unnecessary slap. In fact, somebody got a crack in his face. You remember? Your Minister for Youth, Mama Yusuf. He needed 6 stitches on his face, all in vain. So you sit in parliament and fight for something because you were told by Bawumia that was the panacea to our problems. You all debated and said E-Levy will fix all our problems. Bawumia does a U-turn, makes all of you look like chubis, and you sit there and you are clapping. Oh my goodness. And you ask me why I was clapping for Professor Nana Jane when she said that the collective successes, and if there are any setbacks, collective responsibility, she will share with her boss. That is a woman of integrity. That is a woman who I want to stick my neck out for. That is a woman and a ticket I believe is a go-getter, not a flip-flopper, not an absconder. You know, the behavior Mahmoud Bawumia exhibited with his boss, if it was in the military, he would have been court-martialed because you do not desert your commanding officer on the battlefield. But that is the kind of person Mahmoud Bawumia is. When the going gets tough, they say tough time determines and shows you tough men and tough women. But tough times also expose to you persons of character of straw. And that is Mahmoud Bawumia. When the times have gotten tough, he has disowned and run away from his own government and left Akufo-Addo to his own. But you see, Prof drew our minds to something. She said the purpose of winning 2024 is not just about the NDC. And you tried to play mischief with what I said in Ketia said. Very poignant statement he made that focused the mind of the NDC faithful on what the task is, winning the election. She said to us that winning the election is not about the appointments or positions as you people have sought to do. You've forgotten Sami Uku's and his statement of take position. you think that is a problem today? But you see, Prof said to us what the real reason for winning this election has to be and why it is a collective responsibility of everybody, even persons who are disappointed, MPP card-bearing members who are disappointed in the MPP, floating voters and core NDC members. Why we must all come out and vote for John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is because this election is a purpose for, is an opportunity for us to hold our country together again, to heal Ghana. It is about giving Ghana the opportunity to be pulled from the precipice of distraction because you and your colleagues in government have messed up this country. You have sent this country back over 4 decades. You have sent this country into the doldrums of despair. Today we cannot have water. We have a whole Ministry of Sanitation where you are a deputy minister. Yet Accra is at its filthiest. I wonder how you feel when you draw a salary every month with your boss. But that is where we are. We are sitting in this country, Randy, and this country has been overtaken by incomprehensible greed and deep despair. Randy, this is a chance for us to redeem the independence of the Ghanaian citizen, where citizens will not be disrespected like the way the president disrespected the chiefs of OT. This is a place where people will be respected by the president who is humble. This is what we have. Randy, Prof was clear when she said, never in the history of Ghana, even under military dictatorships, we've not seen these levels of greed, unbridled arrogance, unrestrained impunity, sheer dishonesty, barefaced hypocrisy, and the incompassion that has been displayed by Chinya and his colleagues in government. Randy, we are a country that has come from a checkered past. But looking at John Dramani Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, I have hope. Because she makes a categoric statement that she and President Mahama have agreed that whosoever, and Chinya, listen to this, I'm going to read verbatim. John and I have agreed that whosoever has participated in the plunder of state must be held accountable. This is not a threat, it's a promise. Premised on the wishes of our citizens across the various political and social divides and hinged on the principle of accountability. So when you ask me what position I want, you see where my position is coming from. I'm coming to hunt all of you who have participated in the plunder of state, and we will hold your feet to the fire of accountability. But Randy, she was clear. The promotion of ethnocentric elitism, where unless you come from a certain part of the country, it is masqueraded as intellectualism. Nepotism that has been cloaked as know-how, when family members have been given positions because of their familial relations and not what they know, but it has masqueraded as know-how. The weakness strutting as courage, where you use the agencies of state against innocent Ghanaian citizens and kill 8 of them in cold blood, murderers who have blood on their hands, and crony capitalism marks as development in freedom, where state capture has become a principle of state policy. This, the shameless hypocrisy which we see in our country, masquerading as objectivity, is not something we are going to countenance. Randy, Prof took her time after doing all of this to say to us that when you take the scorecard of the NPP, which I have just described, thanks to Prof's statement, and you take the scorecard of John Mahama, you will not see under John Mahama a $52 million hole, pit, dug in the name of God. I wait for Judgment Day to see how God is going to pay certain people for stealing in his name. I can't wait for that day. Lord, may I see that day. There would not be a free SHS at war.
Chinya, why are you looking at him like that?
A free SHS at war. Today, Chinya sits here and talks about free SHS. You are a teacher. Chinya, as a trained teacher, today you sit as a minister, but you must feel in you the pains of your colleagues who are still in the classroom. Where today, teachers cannot speak about the ills in the system. When teachers see that children are starving and speak about it, they are victimized and punished. Is that what you as a trained teacher? My parents are teachers as well. My mom and dad together taught for 60 years. If you put their years of teaching together. So they are your seniors. And so I appreciate what it means for a teacher. My father taught 35 years, my mother 25 years, 60 years. And today, teachers cannot speak. When you speak about the fact that children are dying. Look, children have been in school for 4 years. The curriculum, there are no books. There are no books. You say Prof is a failed education minister? Are you joking or are you playing?
Because Randy, he's giving you examples why he's...
Randy, there's a very simple thing. When Prof took over, 3 children shared one textbook.
Yes.
When Prof was leaving, every child had 4 textbooks.
That's a fact. Yeah.
How do you call that a failure? Under you, both Napo and Educhum put together, the 2 of them, when you tie the 2 of them together, in 4 years, they've not been able to give us any textbooks for the curriculum. Children have gone from year 1 to year 4. They've completed SHS, and there's no textbooks. People have finished JHS 1 to JHS 3. A whole curriculum has been taught. A whole cycle of their education without textbooks. And you sit here and want to talk about somebody's track record. When we talk about the NPP, they talked about free water and free electricity for a few people. Today, we are all paying more collectively. You talk about COVID money. I'm sure you also got some of the COVID money. Because your colleague, parliamentary candidate in Sagnerigu, told us, Felicia Tete, that they bought 100,000. I'm sure you got your share of the COVID money. And they used it to buy the votes. Today, the IMF country chief executive has made it clear that the problems of Ghana's economy came from the unbridled expenditure by government in the 2020 election year. Randy, one thing you will not see under John and Jane is an Ejapa-like manifesto aimed at state capture, capturing the judiciary, capturing the echelons of business. That will not happen. And that's why Prof spoke about the fact that we will not hound private businesses. We will not go after people like UT Bank was gone after. They went after UT Bank and collapsed Prince Kofi Amabwing's bank when that bank could have been saved. They went after people like Pakwesi Indom and collapsed his bank. And Randy, you would see the selectiveness, because if you look at the adequacy report from the Bank of Ghana, which they claim was the basis for collapsing banks, Seydou Agongo's bank was not inadequate. They collapsed his bank because they claim he was a subject of an ongoing court case. Meanwhile, you have other banks like Prudential Bank, who per that Bank of Ghana report did not have the adequacy ratio to remain afloat. In fact, had worse capital adequacy ratio than some of the banks that were closed. But because Prudential Bank is affiliated with them, they've left them. You know, but Randy, we will not kill people's businesses. One thing I can assure you of, and I did that earlier before Chinia came, President Mahama, and you see, this is not about what I think he will do. I'm speaking about what he's done. Somebody was recorded by her driver that she had anticipations, hopes of one day making $1 million. She was sacked by John Mahama. And like Chinia's boss, in her case, she got a love letter. My dear Cecilia. We will not have a president who will do that. Randy, the youth of this country are going to be key in the next election. Unemployment in this country has jumped from 8% to 14%. Meanwhile, Bawumia is going around starting 2 million phantom jobs. Where are the jobs? Whereas the Ghana Statistical Service tells us the total number of unemployed young people is 1.6 million. Yet he claims he's created 2.2 million jobs. So we should have an excess of 600,000 jobs that people we should be looking for people to employ. You have weak attempts at hiding Dumso. There will definitely not be scandals like the PDA scandal, like the Australian visa scandal, like the Kelly GVG racketeering scandal, like the boss contaminated fuel, like Aboboya's that now. Randy, look, Dr. Bawumia's own sister was responsible for overseeing the agency where the tricycles were kept. Dr. Bawumia's sister. And 400 tricycles, Aboboya, disappeared in thin air till today. She has not accounted for it. Nobody has been held responsible for it. That is Bawumia's nepotism. His own family. And you tell me that this is a man who should entrust this country into.
The fact that something is stolen from your company doesn't mean that you're responsible for it.
Randy,
the police must investigate and find the culprits.
And I'm saying to you that up till today, she has not been able to account. 400 tricycles get missing.
Why should she account?
She's the head of the institution. The buck stops with her. Why was John Mahama asked to account for Dumso? Was he the Minister for Energy? Look, but you see, let me tell you one thing.
She was a deputy.
But she was in management. Yes,
but she was deputy.
Okay, so she was a planque. She was mates.
Yes.
What a family of mates. Randy, we will not have unfulfilled promises of one village, one down. Chinia, I'm in opposition, so maybe Nanado doesn't like me. But let me ask you, for the people of your constituency, what have you done with your $7 million that Nanado has given to you?
When was he giving $7 million?
Oh, he's a government MP. They promised every MP $1 million per constituency every year.
So times 7.
Times 7. So Chinia, you've received $7 million from the government of Ghana. What have you done for your constituency? Randy, I can end my submission here if Chinia would tell us what he has done.
But you are in Parliament. You know he has not been given $7 million.
Nanado said he's giving $1 million. So is a failed promise?
But I'm saying
So your president failed? Or you got your $7 million?
Have you got,
tell your people what you did with $7 million. This year we'll make it $8 million. You must account $8 million at 14. And if you do the mathematics, that is about 132.
Right. In 2017, 2018, it wasn't 14.
Well, I'm using today's rate.
But you know he's not been given the money, so...
Then he must go and tell his people that Nanado lied with Bawumia.
They know.
The 350 schools. Randy, John Mahama's report will contrast the existing arrogance and leadership with the respect that John Mahama has. Yesterday, I saw John Mahama greet the chiefs who were present at the function. He walked to them, bowed down and shook their hands. It is not feigned humility. It is not like those who go and kneel down for the cameras. No. This is who John Mahama is. He doesn't have his bodyguards using their left hands. Watch the video. The bodyguards were using their left hands to tell the chiefs to stand up. Left hand for a chief.
I'm left-handed. What is wrong with that?
No, but Randy, our culture, would you go and stand before any chief with your left hand? But that is Nanado. That is the Nanado that we know. You know, JM will not line up.
Wrap up.
Yes, I'm wrapping up. Oh, I'm just on. I'm just halfway through the speech, Randy.
But we don't have time.
Randy, the 24-hour economy will provide jobs for the young people of Ghana. And John and Jane will deliver. They will usher us into a new golden era of Ghanaian industry. We are not going to say every district one factory. No, we're going to place factories where the raw materials are. We're going to improve, and that's why agribusiness is going to be a key part of the next John Mahama administration. He's speaking about it. And we're going to have a Ministry of Agriculture and Agribusiness where we're going to be adding value. A country that cannot feed itself is not fit to be a country. And that is why I am proud that yesterday, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman spoke about the fact that as Ghana, under the next 4 years, we will begin to feed ourselves. We must be rice self-sufficient. We must be vegetable oil self-sufficient. We must be poultry self-sufficient. That is the country that we're looking about. And John Mahama is a man who you have called inconsistent, a man who you have said is indecisive. It's because you don't understand that he is humble enough to listen to contrasting opinion and subject himself to superior arguments and change his viewpoint when he's confronted with superior arguments and facts. That's something you will not know because you are full of arrogance, and so you will not understand. But Randy, we are not just talking about creating jobs for persons in the formal sector alone, but we're looking at Nsane Juma, making sure that persons are trained with skills. We're going to roll out the 1 million coders program to ensure that John Mahama's Digital Jobs Initiative will have the human resource for it, and to ensure that as we go into a new era of fintechs, we're going to be able to. But the most beautiful part of it, Randy, is the Women's Bank,
and the
Women's World Bank, that has a place in my heart because I know how my women, Randy, my fishmongers, the women who sell fish in Pram Pram, when the fishermen bring the fish, they buy the fish, they smoke it, and they are the ones who take care of the children. I know how they struggle to raise capital. And now I'm happy that there's going to be a women's bank that's going to be run by women that understand the nuances of women's business and support them. We should also have women captains of industry. And that is something I am proud that will happen. Right. Randy, the lights, and no, let me end with the Electoral Commission. I beg you, Randy. And let me just read verbatim.
I'm going to give both of you 2 minutes to wrap up. So when let me just come back, you can use the 2 minutes to do that. So, Chinya, 2 minutes.
But you know, somebody has made too many allegations and you just allowed him.
It was because of time.
You just allowed him to make so many unfounded allegations.
Your 2 minutes is going. Next time, come early.
Please go.
Hey, please. Randy, I haven't insulted anybody. Please.
Randy. Maybe he finds something you said insulting.
What? He should state. I mean, you can't just throw it
so allow him to say.
Randy.
Yes.
Sam George makes allegations of loyalty of Nana Jane to JM as opposed to Bawumia not being loyal and speaking in his not exact words, undermining the president or disrespecting the president. That is unfair. I mean, even if you don't support Bawumia to be president, but you must know that he's a very humble and gentleman. Even if you don't want him to be president, to describe him in those terms makes you too political. I don't support JM, but there are certain things I won't say about him. Not just because I don't support him. Bawumia is a perfect gentleman who respects everybody. I mean, why do you allow politics to let you run down people because you don't support their political ambition? I would never describe JM as being a disrespectful person. I mean, I know, I see him. I haven't gone close to him, but I see him. I observe he's a humble person. I won't say because I don't support him, because I don't belong to NDC, I just start running him down. I can only criticize him on the basis of his presidency and vice presidency, on matters of policy, on matters of development. So it is unfair to describe Dr. Bawumia in those terms. And let me say, Dr. Bawumia is the vice president who has been very loyal to his president. Dr. Bawumia has been very loyal to Nana Akufo-Addo. And Nana Akufo-Addo has no complaint that Dr. Bawumia's disagreement on certain policy issues, he has a problem with it. And you yourself should know. You sitting here and defending JM and saying all those things. If you take JM positions, you will not do exactly the things JM is doing. No two human beings are the same and can give the same leadership. So if Bawumia becomes a flag bearer, certainly there will be some departure from the ways of President Akufo-Addo. You should expect that. It's natural. And so if Bawumia talks about e-levy and his disagreement, how does that make him unloyal to President Akufo-Addo? I have said here that the person who has supported and defended the MPP government in the last 7 years is Dr. Bawumia. And he's the one you NDC people have insulted even more than Akufo-Addo because of the way he defends our policies and our programs. You have insulted him more. He has not been quiet about the development programs being undertaken by this government. So it is unfair and it is not right for you to say that. Number two, you talk about e-levy and you see, when you work in the team, you must be a team player. And when you are electing a leader, you are going with the vision of that leader. You may not agree with everything that the leader carries along, but you go with the leader. There are some you can stay away. There are some you may disagree, but you, as an individual or individuals, you may have to go with the leader. So the fact that we supported e-levy and the fact that we support certain programs under the president doesn't mean that there are individuals within the government who may have their differences or their disagreement with those programs. I'm just sitting here. When NDC was in government, is everything the NDC did that he supported? Is that what he's saying? And even a future NDC government, it is not every member of the government that will support entirely everything JM will do. If by mistake he becomes a president, it's not everything you support. So I don't see the fact that e-levy came, MP supported and all that. That is the president's vision. The president put his proposal before us, and we have to support him as our president. That doesn't make any person a less MP or whatever. I mean, that is the president's vision. We are supporting him to carry out his vision. And if there's a new leader, that new leader has his own position, and he has given reasons for that position. And what is wrong with that? Now he talks about family and friends and all that. I mean, let's grow. But me, I like talking about issues as they are. You don't raise allegations about which president has come and probably doesn't have his family members either occupying positions or doing business or that. They happen. But if the family member does something that is wrong, let's talk about the wrong. Let's talk about the wrong and not the person. Because the family members are also Ghanaians. If I become president, are you saying that my siblings, my children, and other people are not members, are not Ghanaians? Yesterday, when president was speaking, the former president was introducing a professor. Did he not, as part of his acknowledgement of people present, did he not mention his son Sharif? Mm-hmm. Is he more important than everybody? But he mentioned him. Is that wrong? I mean, the son is a Ghanaian, and there are people around you who support you, who are suffering because of the position you've taken. Sometimes you have to acknowledge them, and that is right. Mm-hmm. So for me, if you have members of Akufo-Addo's family serving in position, there's nothing wrong with it. But if they do something that is untoward, that is against the law, talk about it, but don't talk about, people being family members and all that. What is wrong with that? Mm-hmm. So, Sam George, let's rise up over this and talk about state capture. We are dealing with the constitution, with the laws. There is nothing state capture. Mm-hmm. President Akufo-Addo is under the direction of this constitution and nothing more. And so let's rise. You talk about teachers. I like I said earlier, I have been a teacher. And I was a teacher under the NDC until I became a deputy minister in 2017. And ordinary chalk under the NDC, Professor Nanaji as minister, teachers didn't have it. The challenges abound all the time. But you are looking at the magnitude of the challenges. And I can say that teachers' welfare has been better under the MPP than we had under the NDC. Okay. It's very obvious. All right. Now, he talks about $1 million per constituency. And then you wrap up. Nobody said that an MP or any individual will be given $1 million. The policy proposal was to decentralize capital expenditure. Mm-hmm. Now, when you have capital expenditure in the budget, and sometimes it's concentrated maybe at the national capital or some few places. So the essence of $1 million per constituency was to decentralize capital expenditure to all constituencies in the country. So in a year, every constituency bring project proposals that the $1 million will cover. And from 2017, some projects have been done under the $1 million per constituency. Of course, if you do calculation of the amount involved in those projects, I agree that it's not up to the amount, but something has been done. But we can do it better. Right. So it is not the case that the $1 million was meant for me as MP to bring to my account so that I can start. No, it was a way of decentralizing capital expenditure so that
through a centralized bureaucracy.
Well, that is another subject matter.
All right. Okay. Yes.
I just want to confirm. Oh no, Randy's moved to me. Tumu's in your constituency, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. You see, when I speak about the need for you to, if
you
your 8
minutes.
million, okay, the same 2 minutes you gave him. If your 8 million had been used, dollars had been used for your constituency, Tumu will not be cut out completely from Wine Bolga. It's the West Road in your region. Someone from your own constituency has sent me this that I should tell you. That's why I wanted to confirm that Tumu is in your region. You know it, that the road from Tumu, which is your district capital, to Wa and Bolga, is the West Road in the whole region. If they had used your $8 million, that road would have been fixed.
We are doing better in the road sector.
When you were speaking, I was quiet.
So you are making an allegation directly against
Randy.
me. You are making a statement directly reference to me.
Road from Tumu to Wa and Bolga in good shape?
The roads have been bad, but I'm telling you that we have done better. The 8 years of NPP has been better than
Once you admit that the road from Tumu to Bolga and Wa is the west in the region, that's fine. Again, the same person tells me, Randy, that he was comfortable paying electricity bills through the PTA to ensure that his children in senior high school had light in their dormitories. Today, you've blocked them from parents from helping, and now schools are being disconnected. And you tell me that education is better under you. Randy, again, someone has sent me a message saying I should tell you, Chinia, that you are lying. Because he says he's a teacher. And that right now what they've done is they've brought in what they call notional and substantive dates. So you start teaching. Your appointment letter is 2020. Then they tell you that was your notional date.
It's not true.
But your substantive date is 2023. So 3 years of work is completely
it's
gone.
Not true.
What the NDC was doing was you are paid 3 months and then you are asked to validate whatever period you claim you had worked and you are paid. Now you lose all of that
it's
time.
Not true.
That's what's happening around
your appointment letter.
And let me tell you,
capitation
is not 10 cedis, as you said. Capitation is 1 Ghana cedi.
It's not true.
Again,
it's 10 cedis. Capitation grant to basic schools is 10 Ghana cedis per child.
Okay.
Randy,
it was 3 cedis under Kufuor. 8 years you increase it to 4 cedis.
I'm sure
you can check.
I'm
now
sure
it's 10 cedis.
Maybe the 1 cedi is feeding.
Is the feeding? Yes, for feeding.
Yes, but
the feeding
it's different.
It's different. The feeding for children is 1
different.
I didn't mention the feeding.
Capitation is
because you're running away from that. How can you feed children 1 cedi? Your dog in your house, you feed it to 1 cedi a day.
Okay.
How much was it under you?
You don't have time. So.
You see,
how much was it under you?
Randy, like I said, to the Electoral Commission, Prof sent a direct message that it is in the interest of our nation and in the interest of the Electoral Commission that they become transparent in what is going on at that establishment. The truth will not be suppressed this time. And they cannot be so independent that those of us who pay their salaries cannot demand transparency and accountability from them. Like she said, a word to the wise is in Asin North. Randy, it is a sign of strength and privilege when, as a leader, you are open to other people's ideas. It shows that you are not condescending, and it shows that you have a spirit of consensus building. Today, corruption in this country, under this government, is sadly rampant. And Randy, we need to pull the brakes on corruption, else the country we love and know will no longer exist. Ghana without aid has become a Ghana without compass. And for me, we have a duty to ensure that the wealth of this country is distributed for the people and not for individuals using opaque deals like SML. Randy, we need to ensure that true value for money is put to play. That our natural assets are not giving away like the lithium deal that we are seeing. Randy, that family and friends must not become the order of the day. Today, Chinya is telling me that if your family member is in government, it is good. why John Mahama, it is aviation fuel that runs through his blood, his veins, and it's not blood. When John Mahama, and I can ask you, John Mahama's government.
I have a problem with
John Mahama's, your party made it. In fact, you remember the family and friends star 555 hash? It was a campaign message. You forgotten? Now, the question I ask you is, show me one member of John Mahama's direct family. Joyce Bauer is the closest person to a family member, a cousin. Show me any of Mahama's siblings who ever served in government. Akufo-Addo was appointed and even appointed baby mamas as ambassadors.
It's okay.
It's
okay. We need to go.
Oh no, but Randy, is that truth?
No time.
Ambassador to Czech Republic.
It's okay. It's fine.
So you're not saying that what I said is not true, that the baby mama was truly given an appointment.
We don't need to.
Our country will rise again. Ghana will rise again. And this time, not to slack.
All right. Okay.
Randy,
Randy,
we will walk towards a victorious election.
Thank you.
And Ghana will be saved. Ghana will be saved from this evil rail. So you see, even in the Bible,
John Mahama is a failed president. He can't come back.
After Nebuchadnezzar, the Lord showed mercy on the people of Israel.
Okay.
And Nebuchadnezzar will pass. These two shall pass.
Okay, all right.
John Mahama is a failed former president.
So that will be it for the morning. Thanks, honorable members of Parliament. When is Parliament resuming?
Government doesn't have business. We don't even know.
You don't know when you're resuming?
Don't mind.
Then tell us the date.
The speaker will communicate.
The speaker communicates when government indicates that they are
So
ready
government
to
will
do
give
business.
indication.
But there's government business.
Where is it?
The
Approval
approval
of
of ministers and deputies.
It's not government business.
Randy, that and loans. We are talking about government business in the interest of the Ghanaian people.
But there are loans too to be approved.
But the loans,
It's not government business.
Oh, Randy, I thought Kenya by here okay government business. Can you imagine that the last meeting of Parliament was the shortest in the history of the Fourth Republic?
Why was it short?
When we go there, we go and do. People bring their statements. We ask questions and then we go.
But that's also important. I'm told that you have hundreds of unanswered questions.
Even now, when you file, some of the ministers won't show up.
They come.
We spent just 8 weeks. In fact, less than 8 weeks, 7 weeks and 4 days.
But there's a lot of...
Look, the president has checked out. The president has checked out of the country.
Up next is Metro Sports.